Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Finance with Avron. In this video, I'm exploring the USDC on Coinbase. That is the United States dollar coin, which is a stable coin pegged 1-for-1 to the US dollar. Whether you're seeking passive income through crypto, efficient funds transfers, or stability in the volatile crypto market, USDC offers a compelling solution. However, like many financial tools, it's essential to weigh both its benefits and potential drawbacks. And be sure to support the channel with a like down below and subscribing to the channel if you're not already. Now let's delve into the key advantages and considerations of using USDC on Coinbase. Now, one of the things that's great about USDC is that it has a stable value. This is a dollar-backed security. When you think of crypto, often people think of, the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, the Dogecoin, and you see those charts and you see the price action and it's all over the place. Some of you, of course, are familiar with it. You know it, you're immune to it. You've been in the crypto bear markets, the bull markets, the crypto winters, all that. So none of that really affects you too much, or maybe it overly affects you. But with the stable coins like USDC specifically, this is a stable value. You see the charts, you see the data, that one USDC is going to equal $1. So yes, USDC is pegged to the United States dollar and maintains that 1-to-1 ratio with it. Now this creates price stability uncommon in cryptocurrencies. And with that being said, you may be wondering, well, how is this USDC pegged to the US dollar? And the main reasons behind that is that cash and US Treasury assets back all USDC tokens. And now Circle, which is the company that created and manages USDC, they manage these reserves in segregated accounts. And also there's third-party verification. So it's just not taking the word of Coinbase or Circle when it comes to USDC. A Big Four accounting firm provides monthly assurance reports. Now these confirm reserves exceed circulation. Of course, this is millions upon millions of dollars, but they like to maintain that little bit slight extra of reserves exceeding the amount that's in circulation to help with the security and the stability of the USDC. And now these reports are prepared according to attestation standards set out by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, AICPA. Now, this is pretty much one of the main aspects of USDC. It is a stable coin. And to be stable, you have to have a stable value. That is the basis of a stable coin. You definitely don't want to log into your account, a week or month or later that day and see the amount of that stable coin you have less than what you put in. With USDC on Coinbase, you can expect that amount to actually go up. And how it's going to go up is with that reward rate. And we're going to talk about that right now. Right now, currently, me recording this video on May 9th, 2025, the APY for USDC on Coinbase is 4.1%. That is the standard APY. That is the current reward rate for all Coinbase users holding USDC. You can control it on the app whether or not you want to earn that yield. Ever since I've been using Coinbase, there's been some kind of a yield associated with USDC. Now I use it sometimes. I don't have a ton of money in there, but I have used it before and I've earned some, yield, earned some rewards on my USDC in Coinbase. So it's a nice way to earn a little extra on your stablecoin while it's sitting there, whether or not you're waiting to purchase crypto with it or send it to a friend or family member or just holding it there just because. Now there's also a higher APY. As you see right there on the screen, there's a 4.5% premium APY that is available to Coinbase One members on the first $30,000 worth of USDC in their accounts. Now this increase rate is specifically for Coinbase One members. Now Coinbase One is a premium membership on Coinbase that costs $29.99 a month, and it offers various benefits like zero fee trading, boosted interest rewards, priority customer support, pre-filled tax forms, exclusive prizes, and more. It's one of those memberships you see up front, you're like $29.99, is it worth it? It depends on how active you are on Coinbase with trading, I believe. For me personally, if I traded a lot on Coinbase, then yeah, it would be worth it. If I didn't do that much trading on Coinbase, weren't using some of the other benefits, then I would not have Coinbase One. Me personally, I don't have Coinbase One because I don't do a lot of trading of cryptocurrency on Coinbase or in general, actually. So for me, no. For some people, yeah, definitely could be worth it. You may even have it watching this video. You may be interested in it, maybe not. But one thing for sure right now, currently, when it comes to USDC, the stablecoin on Coinbase, if you are a Coinbase One member, you will get that premium increased APY at 4.5%. Instead of that 4.1%. Now, exceeding that $30,000, Coinbase One members would earn that standard rate of 4.1% that would be applied. Another great thing about the passive income with USDC with these reward rates is 24/7 continuous earning. These rewards occur automatically without active trading. You don't have to do anything for this. This is passive income. Your USD stablecoin just sitting in your account, you're going to be earning that yield and these rewards. You don't have to meet a certain amount of trades per week or per month or anything like that. There's no monthly maintenance fee associated with it. You're just earning it 24/7. Now, Coinbase has done in the past where they have basically tiers for the USDC and how much APY that you earn depending on how much USDC you hold. And I actually do shorts videos on USDC sometimes when it comes to the yield. And I've talked about this in one of the shorts videos when they had it where certain balance tiers would earn different APY amounts. So depending on how much USDC you held would determine what APY, what reward rate that you have. But as of right now, these are the APYs for all balances as you see them on the screen, as I've been talking about. All right, let's move on to some other pros when it comes to USDC on Coinbase. And that's definitely going to be associated with the fast and cost-effective transactions. Now, one of the great things about USDC is how you can move it around. This is 24/7 availability. You can transfer USDC anytime. Unlike traditional banking with their limited hours or the days they're closed or certain hours or weekends, things like that, you have access to your USDC anytime and you can resend it and receive it anytime. And when you're moving the USDC around, it settles in seconds. Transactions complete in moments rather than days. You're not waiting around for 1 to 3 business days or 2 to 5 business days, things like that. No, these transactions happen quickly. You look away from your phone, you go do something, you go make some tea, whatever, you go back to your phone, boom. Transaction is complete. Also with this is a low fee structure, especially when you're moving around USDC on Coinbase's base chain. Now, Coinbase has the base network, which is an Ethereum layer 2 network. So it sits on top of Ethereum. And now Coinbase created Base to improve Ethereum scalability by offering faster and cheaper transactions while maintaining its security. But also USDC on Coinbase has cross-chain compatibility. So you can swap USDC across multiple blockchain networks. And with that, Coinbase Wallet supports cross-chain swaps for assets on Ethereum, Base, Avalanche, Polygon, Solana, and other networks. So you can swap to and from USDC on any of these chains when you need one side of your swap to have a stable hold of value. And now Coinbase created Base to improve Ethereum scalability by offering faster and cheaper transactions while maintaining its security. And let's move on to some other pros when it comes to USDC on Coinbase, and that's going to be with the regulatory compliance and transparency. Now, Circle, who created and manages USDC, actively engage with the United States and global regulators to comply with applicable frameworks, including registration with FinCEN and adherence to state money transmission laws. And now with being registered as a money services business with FinCEN, Coinbase is required to comply with many financial services and consumer protection laws, including the Bank Secrecy Act and the U.S. Patriot Act. And also there's a state compliance and adherence to state level money transmission laws. At the state level, Coinbase holds 46 state money transmission licenses and are subject to a variety of rules, including consumer protection regulations. And USDC has been proactive in aligning with emerging regulations like the European Union's MiCA, Markets and Crypto Assets Regulation. And USDC became one of the first major stablecoins to achieve that compliance. And now that Markets and Crypto Assets MiCA regulation is a regulatory framework proposed by the European Union to govern the issuance and provision of services related to crypto assets. As of now, it has not been formally adopted, but MiCA states that it strives to foster innovation while protecting consumers and participants in the rapidly evolving crypto asset market. It establishes rules and licensing requirements for crypto asset service providers operating across the EU. Now, Circle, through its regulated subsidiaries, is the sole entity responsible for issuing, also known as minting, and redeeming USDC. They manage the reserves that back USDC and ensure its stability. And now Circle provides weekly disclosures of USDC reserve holdings, offering that high level of visibility into the assets backing the stablecoin. And Coinbase itself is a publicly traded company in the United States and operates as a regulated cryptocurrency exchange. So, Coinbase releases their financial reports that you can look over and look through as well. And there's definitely mention of USDC because Coinbase makes a lot of money off of USDC. And I'll talk about that somewhat in the con section because that can be considered a con. We'll get into that in that section. And now the stable value, the rewards, the regulatory compliance and transparency, fast transactions with low fees. All of those are great pros that we went over there. But of course, now we have to look at some of the cons associated with USDC. And important risk to consider is that there is no FDIC or SIPC insurance. So unlike bank deposits, USDC lacks federal insurance protection. So users bear the risk of platform failures. So this isn't like holding money in your bank account, whether it be Bank of America, SoFi, JP Morgan Chase, Regions, First Horizon, Truist, Ally, whoever you have your checking or savings account with that's FDIC insured. USDC on Coinbase is not like that. There's no kind of federal protection right now currently that would step in and cover your deposits if Coinbase and or Circle went bankrupt and the platform failed or anything like that. Now also there are centralization concerns. Circle and Coinbase can freeze addresses. And this contradicts crypto's decentralization principle. So a lot of people like cryptocurrency because of the decentralized fact of it. The fact that it's like off the grid kind of, it's, on the grid, but it's off the grid. It's kind of, we're on the blockchain, but you know what I mean? So yeah, it's not like controlled basically. That's one of the people, it's not like centrally controlled by, like a certain bank or a certain government or things like that. So that's one thing that drives people to cryptocurrency is the decentralization of it. Of course, like I told you, Circle created and manages USDC. And then Coinbase, is a big driving factor of USDC and its adoption as well. And now, while it's rare, they can freeze addresses if they need to for regulatory reasons or, whatever kind of reasons they say and they come up with. This is a rare occurrence. I don't know if anybody personally this has happened to. I'm sure if you did some Googling or some Binging or some chat GPTing or some Redditing or whatever, you may be able to find someone who have their address, frozen by Coinbase. So that's another risk to consider when it comes to this. Now, also the yield I was telling you about in the pro section, the reward rates, those are variable. So the interest rates are subject to change with market conditions. There's no guarantee about a minimum return or a fixed return when it comes to earning rewards and earning more USDC for holding USDC on a Coinbase. Now, this kind of goes along with like pretty much saving account APYs, which, if you're familiar with my channel, Finance with Avern, I talk a lot about high yield deposit accounts in regards to, saving accounts, CD accounts, and I talk about, variable yields and fixed yields and things like that. So if you're thinking in that mind frame as far as like a fixed yield or a variable yield, USDC on Coinbase falls into the variable yield section. So yes, that 4.1% that is currently at that standard APY is subject to change and definitely could change, next week, later today, next month. And now also when it comes to cons and areas to be of concern with USDC on Coinbase, there are technical and regulatory uncertainties. Now, there are smart contract vulnerabilities. Technical flaws could potentially affect USDC operations. This is very big as far as technology driven. So yes, when it comes to things being driven by technology and being, basically depending on technology, there's the possibility of there being flaws in that technology. And so, USDC operates on blockchains like Base, Ethereum, Solana, and others, which face risk of technical issues, cyber threats, or smart contract vulnerabilities. And with that, there's network security risks. So past blockchain exploits highlight the potential weakness. Now, while it's rare, it doesn't happen a lot and by major amounts, there is that possibility of exploits being found and taken upon in action on the blockchain. And also there's that regulatory uncertainty, which falls into those bottom two categories right there where you see CBDC competition. And also there's the CBDC competition. Now, adoption and growth of a stablecoin like USDC is under scrutiny as governments are exploring central bank digital currencies. So as central banks get more comfortable and more adopting of cryptocurrency, there's that possibility of creating and really driving their own stablecoin, which would be like a central bank digital currency. Think of it as the government version of USDC. And of course, one of the things that drive people to cryptocurrency is the decentralization. And of course, if it's going to be a stablecoin managed by the government, that's definitely typically going to be very centralized. Also, the regulatory landscape for stablecoins remains uncertain, and new laws could impact stablecoin operations, and the possibility of these laws and the laws themselves could affect USDC's operations or value. And that's something that's been going on for years, especially as the growth of cryptocurrency has been happening. So yeah, that's another con when it comes to USDC on Coinbase, are these technical and regulatory uncertainties. And now with all that being said, you may be thinking, is USDC on Coinbase right for you? Now, if you're somebody who seeks stability, but also likes the idea of being able to move money quickly around the world, then this could be a great option if you want that dollar stability with crypto flexibility. Also, if you're a passive income investor, that competitive rewards rate compared to traditional savings accounts could be interesting to you. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, you know I do videos about the top 10 savings accounts ranked by APY every other month. And in between those months, I do ranking videos of CD accounts. So yeah, there are definitely accounts out there that have higher APY than that current APY of 4.1% that USDC has on Coinbase. However, there are several accounts out there that do not have an APY that high. Now, if you're a risk-aware user, somebody who understands the lack of federal insurance and centralization trade-offs, if you're okay with that, if you understand that and what could come with that, then this could be right for you. So in conclusion, USDC on Coinbase stands out as a stable, transparent, inaccessible digital asset, offering a compelling option for those seeking to navigate the crypto landscape with confidence. Its stability, backed by full reserves and regular audits, provides a reliable store of value, and the potential to earn passive income through rewards adds an attractive layer for investors. However, it's essential to consider the centralized nature of USDC, which introduces regulatory and counterparty risk. Additionally, the evolving regulatory environment surrounding stablecoins could impact its future use and value. As with any financial decision, it's crucial to weigh these factors against your investment goals and risk tolerance. USDC on Coinbase can be a valuable tool in your crypto portfolio, but staying informed and adaptable is key to navigating this dynamic space. Now, while a lot of info in this video is based on actual facts and data, none of this is financial advice. Definitely need to consider your own financial goals and risk tolerance when it comes to this. And USDC, as I stated and as I showed you throughout the video, does offer unique benefits. However, there are some important trade-offs to be considered. And that's it with the video, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed it. Take care.